actually very much agree with that. Senator Hyde-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I sure enjoyed our meeting earlier. I appreciate your willingness to serve, as I said before, and all the issues that we talked about is very important to Mississippi. So I'm sure we will have a lot to work on together, but as products and markets participants emerge, the agency must adapt to rising demands and increasing pressure on its limited resources. The Commission deserves recognition for how effectively it has managed these emerging duties so far. However, the Congress now weighing market structure legislation that may expand the CFTC's jurisdiction, the challenges ahead are likely to become even more significant. So my question is, how do you plan to ensure the CFTC remains focused on its core mission of protecting hedgers and supporting transparent, well-functioning futures markets, especially for our farmers and ranchers, while also establishing a new regulatory framework and taking an increased responsibility for a rapidly evolving digital asset market, and what makes the CFTC well-suited to take on this responsibility?
Thank you, Senator, and I too very much enjoyed our conversation this morning. You know, if the CFTC is not doing its job at making sure that our markets are working for our agricultural firms, our farmers, our ranchers, our digital economy now as well, it's simply not working. And so we need to make sure that these are well-functioning markets, and it's my responsibility, if confirmed as chairman, to get that job done. I believe that we need to be vigilant in our surveillance efforts and our examination efforts of market participants, and make sure that we're policing fraud and manipulation in these markets. And it's the CFTC's critical responsibility for overseeing that these markets are well-functioning and efficient, and I take that very seriously and intend to do that job. As I mentioned in my opening statement, I think there's just massive over-regulation of participants, and as we discussed this morning, particularly the FCM community, where many of America's farmers and ranchers are reliant on these entities to access the derivatives markets, and if it's too expensive, if we're over-regulating them and they don't have access, they're not going to be able to hedge their risks. And that's very concerning. That can result in a lot of volatility in the markets, and that can affect everyday consumers. And so I'm committed to making sure that these markets are well functioning and that appropriate risk management tools are available to our nation's farmers, ranchers, and everybody else.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no further questions.